Bella. Yeah, Bella's a happy loser. Eva. Yeah, it's really nice. To see you. And so yeah, this is kind of like a vlogger heads style video. Vlogger heads. Yeah, I want to say it in some kind of Mike Myers stupid movie way. Yeah, because it's like, oh, vlogger heads. Yeah, I'm just so. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I really just don't know. I mean, it's just like one day I just said, fuck this place, and just never went back. Which is strange. You think I'd have some curiosity, something, but no, it was just like, fuck it. I got things to do. These people are wasting my time. Something like that anyway. But, it's, Lima's, she hasn't made a video yet, but she's floating about. Which is really nice. It's very pleasant. It's all kind of old home week or something. So yeah, I saw when you used the name when you signed up, and I said, well, it's got to be Bella, but I wasn't, you're never sure it's Bella. Eva. Anyway, and, yeah, so yeah, it's just, it's not exactly the right kind of website in terms of title, for small videos. But it is right in terms of the atmosphere. It's got the right, people have to be here on purpose kind of thing. I like that. I like the idea of people watching videos who, are actually interested. They actually have to go over a hurdle or two to get there, as it does tend to glean out all the idiots who are just going to say something really stupid. Unfortunately, it doesn't glean all of them out, but, what are you going to do? Can't take people too seriously. Yeah, generally speaking. Well, anyway, I didn't bother taking much of a note. You did mention free will and the big question. Why does it matter? And so I'll answer the question. What I wrote down was you need to see it to fix it. You do need to understand a system to be able to manage it or maintain it or fix it. If it's broken or it's not working up to snuff. And so part of understanding the circumstance of being life on Earth is understanding the fact that it is just caught up in this whole mechanics of a universe and what universes do when they have little quiet patches, where weird shit can happen. And that's kind of where we're stuck. We're stuck in one of these quiet patches of the universe where everything doesn't get radiated to pieces, every 13 days. And, so matter can get a little complicated, and then when it gets complicated, it can, apparently, it's possible, for this whole cell thing to happen and reproduction, and then you're off to a whole new race, a whole new machine starts up of the little replicating monster. And, I won't go through that whole thing, you've heard it. But, yeah, here we are. This is the circumstance, that it's just part of the machinery. It's the eddy in the stream kind of thing. It's all kind of inevitable. The stream just ends up in the ocean. So what? For this is what it does. It doesn't do this thing, like go somewhere thing. It just does this thing. It just does this or this thing. It just goes downhill to the ocean. The water evaporates, goes back in the clouds, rains on a mountain, just keeps doing the same frickin' crap over and over and over. And yeah, we change minor details, and stupid. So part of understanding that, I guess, is what I'm saying, is understanding that there's no hope for some sort of, we're going to pull it out of the free place, the magic free, and we'll bring some free magic into the world, and there the free magic will save us. No, there's just what this machine does, and that's all there is. And I guess I'd also argue that almost in complete contradiction to the people who say, well, if people don't think they're free, they'll just like sit on the couch and do nothing because they'll think everything is inevitable, like it's going to happen if they don't do it. And that's, that's just plain idiotic. So I think in a way, knowing there is no free will makes you even more aware of the fact that everything is going to happen through a chain of events, and causes and effects. And if the world's going to change, if there's going to be an effect, something's got to cause it, which means that somehow you're going to have to be affected in some way that makes you a cause. So, in a way, it is a provoker of interest and motivation and all of those good things in terms of getting people to realize that maybe they're reading the magic script, the script that changes everything, that changes the course of history. And so I guess from my perspective, it's useful as a tool to motivate, just because it almost says to you, well, maybe, I had an important script and I shouldn't have just, acquiesced from what could have been a better role I would have played if I had a better thought in my head that said, go do something, instead of just complaining or just, complaining is a good thing. I'm not against complaining, so yeah, I shouldn't malign complaining, because that's part of the process of changing something, is complaining about it. It's like sort of the step one is, recognize it and say, stupid. And, if you just say it to yourself, that's not going to do much good. So you might as well say it to whoever's going to listen to it. Seems logical. So I guess that's what I'm saying. It's part of the logic, is understanding the determinism, understanding that, you're never going to... The part that doesn't matter is you're not going to feel less alive because you're not free. You're still going to experience this train wreck. I mean, you're still on the Titanic. I mean, the fact that you have free will isn't going to change the boat sinking or anything. I mean, you're still going to have an adventure. Great adventure. Yeah, you're still going to have one of those, whether you're free or not. And the thing is going to surprise you. You can't know where all the jack-in-the-boxes are. You can't know where, all the little pop-up bullshit is. So, yeah, I just don't see how it doesn't... I don't see why people would worry about even faking the notion that you weren't free. Just because, what does that take away? Knowing that everything was... You're just, it doesn't matter. How does knowing it change the fact that I'm not going to be able to predict it? I mean, knowing that it's predictable, knowing that it is being caused, doesn't change the fact that I'm part of the moment of effect. I'm being affected as I roll down the stream, tumble, sail, all kind of the same thing, We're going over the falls in a barrel, whether we want to call it a boat or not. Yeah, that kind of thing. So, let's see, what else did you brought up the Karina thing, which was kind of a weird, I don't even want to go there. But yeah, I just, the whole thing got kind of, it's too, you just can't, people are too crazy, so there's just no point. And the funny thing was, when me and Karina were talking, she was trashing everybody. I mean, I was too, but I'm just saying, it was just, yeah, it's almost like, you can't do, we got to cut that part. Well, I got to cut that part out, because, it just was, just funny that's sort of how the conversation went. I don't mean in a bad way, like nothing horrendous. I just mean in little ways, in Dawkins, just everybody was a target, and so it's just, let's not bother with that. Can't do anything good with that. But anyway, yeah, so I'll just, maybe someday I'll go back and put something together. But, yeah, it's just, what? It's just, it's an awkward, it's awkward. That's it, it's awkward. Yeah. Yeah, that's just going to have to be a good enough answer. Um, yeah, yeah. It's my weakness, the women's. Anyway, but yeah, so it really is nice. It's nice seeing you and such. And, I mean, most of our conversations I enjoyed. I mean, obviously there was some parts of the arguments that, I'm arguing the argument, It really wasn't personal. I know I sounded like it was personal, but it really wasn't personal. I was just arguing the argument, yeah, in a very hostile and negative way. And I guess part of it's frustration, that just leaks into it because, I just always thought you were too intelligent for some of the things you were saying. Were just so, like, man, that's just too stupid. You're too smart to be that stupid kind of thing. And so I guess part of it's disappointment. And I mean, I'd make a lousy parent because, I just can't imagine if I had a kid that was doing something preposterously stupid. There'd just be a point, where you're just like, I got to sledgehammer that little fuck. I got to run him over with the car. I mean, he's too stupid. Yeah, and you sort of, I guess, in a way, you sort of feel responsible for the people who you associate with or connect to in some ways too, and you're like, damn, you just. I mean, I'm not controlled by some sort of like, like you're taking a family portrait and one person just doesn't dress for it or something. I mean, everybody's dressed and one person just, and you're just like, come on, get with the program. So that is kind of silly to worry about that kind of stuff, but there's just sort of like it's just not right. You can't be stupid because then I can't associate with you because you're stupid. Or I can't like you, even though I like you. I can't like you because you're too stupid. And, they're not rational rules. They're just rules of trying to get through, the psychology that's always, it's always there. I mean, you try to, the smartest part of it, does seem to grab hold of most of you, the 60%. 70%, but there's this 30% of bullshit that you're still, it's hard to weed all of it out. It's hard to get all the cockroaches out of your psychology. And, there was some cockroach in my reactions to some of your videos that may have been more about how it was affecting me, what you were saying, not so much what you were saying. Just because I had a sort of an investment in you, and it was like my investment was tarnishing. It was like, so I mean, I don't want to make it out to be that kind of like it was that selfish or but I guess in some ways it was, or even that superficial, because it wasn't. It was just a combination, that I care about the subject. I'd be frustrated, and then I'd be irritated. Like, not just because of having to talk about something I didn't want to talk about, but because, you had to do it with somebody you didn't want to do it with. You wanted to, it's like you had to do some kind of, it's like if, let's say you had to do the hokey pokey, right? You'd really hate to do it with some people, but some people you'd really enjoy doing it because you both know it was just silly. And so it was that kind of discontinuity where you're just dressed wrong for the event. That's enough of that. Enough babble. So yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of hoping this website provides some opportunity for the smaller conversations. Eventually I'm going to have a video uploader so people could just upload directly videos, and so I think that'll be a lot more conducive because then you won't have to upload them to some other website and have an account and all that kind of crap somewhere else. And so there'll be some kind of background conversational style videos, but I'm really not trying to compete with something, for that, to satisfy that whatever that is, genre. Let the vlogger heads of the world do that. It's like I don't even like the idea of social media. Because it's like you don't want to be social with just anybody. I mean, there's certain people you would like to socialize with, and so yeah, it's like I just don't want to hear just anybody ramble about anything. It's just certain people that you just like communicating with. You like to hear their voice every now and then, to hear what they're doing and what they're thinking and how they're seeing things. It texturizes, dimensionalizes your life to have that perspective. And but yeah, it really is so person dependent. And I guess that's sort of the catch of the social media thing, is that maybe there has to be a gravity to it. A few personalities in the center, and then the people that are kind of gravitate around the conversation they create. And it's always going to have like a personality, and you really can't go against the flow of that gravity. Yeah, it's kind of like that. It kind of needs to be each individual little funnel of content. And you could do it probably with this kind of, like I said, just this template form. Maybe you could just give the sites different names, color the backgrounds a little different, and have the database different, So you just, this segment of videos goes in these categories. I'm trying to do that with even the keywords here. I have to work on a little bit, just getting rid of tags and just have keywords, descriptors, whatever number of them. And, then videos can just be categorized by that, who there should be of interest to, both in subject and in terms of personalities, gangs, clubs, whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's, there is a compatibility thing. There is a certain kind of atmospheres that's just kind of necessary, to make it, to do the social media thing. Like I said, I don't really like that terminology, being social in public. I mean, I guess that's what being social is, but there's some concepts I just don't get. And yeah, it's one of the concepts I don't get, because it's so hard to be, it's like a contradiction, because it's personally public. I don't know, some kind of weird combination that's messy for me. But it's also valuable, so I guess that's the trick. Well, I guess the point is you can't mix the two kinds of things. It's hard to mix the aggressive opining on philosophical subjects and the vulnerable, real human interaction stuff. That's, I guess, what I was trying to say. Yeah, that those two things don't mix, because then there's personal all over your philosophy, and then there's philosophy all over the personal, and yeah, well, whatever. I mean, that sort of works, though. I mean, you can have, I just like that atmosphere. There's times when I guess you're in the debate forum, having the argument, and then there's times where you're having a conversation sitting around a fire. And it's like, I like both of those things. I like the fireside conversation things. That's what I do on Stickam every Saturday, I guess. And then where you can say anything and you do anything. It just doesn't matter, because you're just being a human being. And then there's the other time when you have to try to put on your battle gear, and you got, you're all kind of, and it's a different, you're functioning differently. Yeah, something like that. And I personally like mixing the two because I'm sort of doing that here. So I don't. Yeah, I don't know what my point is. No point. Yeah, I'll just give that up. It's hard. I guess what I'm saying is, yeah, it's really hard to, as you're saying. I mean, you don't want to go back to YouTube, but this isn't quite doing it, and that isn't quite right. And it's like, and even when you make a website for yourself, you're still saying, well, this idea isn't quite right, because you don't want to be, it's not like I'm saying I need to be the center of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's almost like the Stickam thing. Somehow I'm a necessary part. I just like the idea of the room existing. I don't even like the burden of having to be there, but apparently I somehow am necessary. And, yeah, it's just weird. Well, so that's enough. Yeah, that's probably enough. So anyway, yeah, so it's good to see you, and this video is, way longer than it need to be. Nice little waste of time, rambly, kind of pointless, stupid video. Yeah. I like it. Yeah, it's fun. And such. Fun. Anyway, make more videos and such. It's just nice seeing you. Thank you for showing up. I guess, whatever. But you couldn't help yourself. It was inevitable. And all that kind of crap. So, yeah, I can't reward you. That's the great thing about determinism, though, is you don't get, theoretically, I mean, if it wasn't for deterrence, if it wasn't for scaring other people and saying, don't do that, yeah, there's like no reward or punishment. I mean, you can't take credit for anything, but you're also not to blame for anything, which is, has a little bit of a good quality to it. I guess. Well, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Doesn't matter, as you say. It doesn't really matter. But it matters in principle. It's the principle of the damn thing. If we're gonna do this truth thing, describe reality thing, this is one of the realities that we have to describe. And if it's okay to get this one wrong, then I guess it's okay to get the other ones wrong, and that's no good. So, you got to get it right. Yeah. Let me do the right thing for the right reasons. I mean, all that kind of, just sort of logical. Yeah. Okay. That's enough. Till next time and such. Maybe Lima will make a video now.